News, 24S31845. This is Cooper and Cooper. Mr. Hess, you represent plaintiff. Says the date and time scheduled for a final settlement conference. Mr. Hess, where are we at?
Your Honor, we've had some discussions. Unfortunately, we've not been able to settle the case. One of the key issues in this case, my client, his position is that this truck is his separate property pursuant to a prenuptial agreement. The defendant has her own perception of what should happen with the truck. I did get an ex parte order signed by the court on March 18 that specifically prevented this truck from being sold, as well as a general restraining order against disposal of assets. My client received information thereafter that the vehicle had been sold. The defendant has not confirmed this, but she hasn't given me any information as to whether the vehicle has been sold, the price, to whom, etc. So I did send out some discovery to her on April 9. So she would have had 28, or she has 28 days from April 9 to answer it. And that's where we're at.
All right, so when was this filed? How old is this case?
October 28th it was filed, 2024.
So it's a DO. So the Supreme Court says these should be concluded in 6 months. So what, November? So we're already past the 6 months. Could I ask, and either one can volunteer an answer, why we are fixated on a truck that's almost 30 years old? Why does anybody care about a 30-year-old truck?
I had bought that pickup and I had not put it in my name. And then when the time came to plate it, I had asked my wife.
All right, I'm gonna stop my client. I guess the point is my client believes it's a separate property, and it is specifically listed in the prenup as his. So he does want the truck. I mean, there's been discussions about, okay, if he doesn't get the truck, what is the value? What should he be paid? So we have talked in those terms as well, Your Honor. And
well, then I just got to ask, Ms. Cooper, what do you care about the truck for? You often drive F-350s that are from 1997.
Well, the prenup that I was asked to sign upon our marriage was very clear, out of protection for him. I believe that he's fussing about it because the prenup ended up protecting me more than it protected him. What comes
Wait,
down
you say
to,
he wants the truck,
right?
Give him the truck.
I don't have the truck. I sold it prior to receiving that motion. It was sold and gone way long prior to it.
I could have to see when all that occurred, but that could be problematic.
And the judge has the same look on his face that I think a lot of men would have on their face. I mean, what are you going to do with the truck? Just, I mean, you don't want it. Just give it to him. Well, I sold it, this, and this. A lot of times these women know for a fact that they don't want that stuff, but they'll take it and use it and spend it and put it somewhere else despite the man. They'll take a man's tools knowing they're not going to use it, sell them, give them to somebody else because they don't value it, just despite the man.
I'm willing to wait it out though, because the prenup is very clear legally that any gift from him to me belongs to me if divorce were to happen. It was a gift, hence why it's in my name. That's how it got into my name. So my belongings that he has aren't worth to me to just give up. So if he wants to take this all the way to the end, we can stay married for as long as he would like, or we could just be done with it.
So the idea was he's got some stuff you wanted, so you'll sell his truck and he can keep your stuff. I mean, is this
if that's how he would like to end
sort of
it,
petty?
if that's how he would like to end it, that's fine. I would like to just be divorced if we could just get that part over with. The truck isn't worth any substantial amount of money.
Well, I'm guessing that's why I'm asking both sides.
My
Why are we
MacBook
fighting
that
about
he
a
owns-
30-year-old truck?
My MacBook that he has is
worth more than
equal
his
to.
truck, right?
Yeah, but
That's
the
what you
truck's
wanna tell me?
gone and there's no getting it back, so we can settle it however.
So are you willing to let him keep the MacBook?
Sure.
There
Sure.
you go, counsel. I think we've worked it out.
So can we please be divorced?
I,
And he
I
can
mean,
sell
I
the
mean,
Mac.
she
the
had
MacBook.
provided,
Go get a different truck. Get a newer truck. Or maybe a boat. It looks like he's in some tropical place right now with, can't tell if that's a tiki hut or what.
Or maybe you make $280,000 a year and you could just go buy a new one.
I don't know.
I
What do
put
you
it-
think, counsel?
well, he doesn't make that kind of money to my knowledge, but, you know, I'm happy to resolve this if we can. You know, but the truck is worth, my client believes, $10,000 to $15,000. I mean, the offers that we've received are less than that. The stuff that she has at my client's house, he's more than willing to give that back as part of a settlement. But I guess I'd want to talk to him privately if you know he wants to, as to what he wants to do here.
You want me to put you in a breakout room for a minute?
That'd be fine.
Okay, and then you should, don't hold me to this, you should be able to take yourself out of the breakout room when you're ready to come back in.
Okay.
And then I'll just have staff let me know.
And this is a classic case of people devaluing your stuff. If that truck was in fact worth 10 to 15,000, oh well, yeah, you can have my MacBook, but your MacBook is only worth 3,000. Oh well, you know, it's same. I just want to get out. I just want to be done with it. I don't care about it. Oh, okay.
And then we can go from there. If we can't make progress today to get this wrapped up, I'm going to give you a trial date very quickly because it should have been done by now, and then we can just have a trial. So let me, I guess, did we get rid of our breakout? No, we all have our breakout rooms here. So counsel, I'll put you in there right now, and then hopefully you can get yourself out. If not, I'll check on you in a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Honor.
Do you love watching these things every day?
No, mine cost me $10,000 to pay him, and everything was my prayer.
If that's
I should have,
if that's what it comes down to.
you know what I said, you know what, I'm not letting it, I'm not gonna let him get a portion of my home that I bought 10 years prior to us getting together.
Right.
I'm just not doing it, and it's worth $425,000. And I said, I'm not giving him equity of that when I've paid it all this time.
Like, I know.
Yeah. We're back out again.
Oh, okay.
For his, for him to decide.
Good afternoon again, Your Honor. So my client has two options that we'd like to present. I guess option one would be that he pays, or that Ms. Cooper pays him $7,000 for the truck, and she can have the stuff back that she has indicated on a list to me. Or option two would be that my client gets the crossbow and the rangefinder that's currently in Miss Cooper's possession. He keeps all of her stuff that is with him. Basically, they each, other than that, they each keep their own stuff, any debts in their own names, etc. And there would be no cash payment for the truck.
All right, Ms. Cooper, you option one or two?
I respectfully decline both options.
She doesn't like option one or two.
Okay. Yeah, I think we may be stuck. I mean, my client indicates that he has a trailer that was set up to pull this particular truck. The truck bed itself, he paid $8,500 to add that, and another $3,500 in transmission work. So it's just, you know, he's offering to give her stuff back and only take $7,000 for the truck. So I don't know. I think we may be stuck.
Hey, Jim, do you have my calendar there?
Do we have any kind of Carfax or like a Kelly Blue Book that says what the truck was actually worth? Pictures and things of that nature? Of course, she gonna try to get out of Dodge as fast as possible. I'm not trying to pay any of that.
I need a trial date. Counsel, how many witnesses do you think you need for trial?
It is likely to be my client and probably just one or two more at most.
Okay,
So the
how about
party-
you?
Say the same amount.
Just give me 2 hours.
If we go into the lunch hour, we could do 10:30 on Monday the 5th. Is that too soon?
May 5th?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Council, May 5th?
It's probably a little too quick. I mean, her discovery isn't. She's got. I would like to have my discovery back. I sent it out on, I believe April 9.
Excuse me, can we do the breakout room one more time?
Was there a deadline for the discovery?
Well, she'd have 28 days to answer my discovery. I found out the truck was apparently sold and sent it out on. I believe I sent out my discovery on April 9. Let me make sure. I'm sorry. I sent it out on April 11.
Okay. So 28 days after April 11th, let me see here, April 11th. That put us about May 9th. All right, and then Mr. Cooper, you said you wanted to talk to your attorney? You're muted, Mr. Cooper.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll put you guys in a breakout room again, and we don't really, let me see here. My next thing was canceled. So I've got until 2:30. So we'll give you a few more minutes here and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Just a second, and we'll go off the record again.
I think it would have been cheaper if I would have not hired an attorney and just did it myself.
I just, the petty part is on him. I'm just the one holding it out. Like, he got literally everything.
Right.
Vehicles, house, camper, boat, like, let the truck go. Let's just get divorced.
Right.
You literally, like, he literally makes $280,000 a year. I'm a single mom working for $16 an hour. Like, why do you have to be that petty?
Because that's how they are. I'm just saying.
Seated, and let's get the camera back. Okay, so now we are again back on the record. Cooper and Cooper, Mr. Hess.
All right. Well,
Anything new?
yes, we'll try again, Your Honor. So,
And this is what they do. Basically, I want you to forget the type of foolishness that I was involved in. Just forget it. Forget it. Just leave it alone. You make enough money. Just let me go out there and do the stuff I shouldn't have been doing. Just let me do it.
my client is willing to do a walk away at this point, where each side would keep the assets in their own possession, their own debts in their own names, etc.
Cooper.
Can agree.
That works for her. So to save everybody time and effort and potentially more money, Mr. Hess, can you get that reduced to writing? And if you want to email it, we can have you folks sign and she can stay here and sign on her end.
I have a quick question, sorry.
Mhm.
There's one thing. I'm sorry, I completely forgot about it, but one thing, there's a tote in the basement that just has my children, we do not have children together, my children's baby books, newborn clothes, my dead cousin's class ring. Can I ask for that back? Because it's not a financial thing.
The deal is you both keep what's in your possession.
No, you can't. You didn't want to give him his stuff back. You sold his truck. No. Well, can I have? No. Now you. All right.
Mr. Hess, she's looking for a tote with, I guess, stuff her kids has in her dead cousin's class ring.
What do you have to say about that, Ryan? I mean, do you know if it's there? You're muted, Ryan.
It is there, yes.
So is that okay that she have the tote and the contents of the tote?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, however you want to handle this, Your Honor. I mean, we could put this on the record if you're comfortable with that. Otherwise, I'll.
I think we should put it on the record, but then I was hoping, just because I sense some animosity, often when we walk away from that, then it comes time to actually sign our names on the dotted line, and you know.
I don't know that I
So-
can. I mean, you're looking for me to draft a judgment of divorce this afternoon?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
I mean, I assume that the way you talked earlier, I thought maybe you had something going already, like you had it somewhat prepared, but maybe not.
No,
Maybe
I don't. I would have to start from scratch. Yeah.
Then you're not, okay. So why don't we do this? Other than what we have already stated, is there anything else that would be part of this judgment that we haven't already placed on the record?
I would say that there'd be no spousal support for either party, and it would be forever barred.
Okay.
Each party is awarded any property in their own names, accounts, investments, retirement accounts, anything in their own names, and as we discussed, any items in their own possession, with the exception of this tote and the contents therein, which will be turned over to Ms. Cooper.
And then when can we have that turned over to Ms. Cooper, and how are we going to do that? Maybe we should place that on the record.
What makes sense, Ryan? Within, I don't know, within 7 days after the judgment is final.
I
I can pull it
was
out of my
hoping that
basement.
we could get the judgment in 7 days.
I can get it out of my basement tonight and have it on the curb.
That doesn't sound promising. Is there any place else that might be a little more secure you could place it?
Well, there's a no contact order between her and I.
Is that the result of this case?
The result of a domestic violence on her part, along with criminal sexual
Oh,
conduct.
I remember this. This is the PPO case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
we
Yeah,
don't
there's
have
a lot-
domestic violence
A
charges,
lot
we
going
will have
on
a
here.
contact order.
Okay. How do we get the tote?
I have a suggestion.
Yeah,
His parents, along with his daughter, go to my church, my
Uh-huh.
Kingdom Hall. He could have them bring it to a service, and I could get it while I'm there. I go every Thursday evening, every Sunday afternoon.
Mr. Cooper, she's suggesting you give the tote to your parents and that they can deliver it to the service on Thursday evenings.
That could be arranged.
And then, just so we're all on the same page, can it just be this Thursday tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah. What time's the service?
It's at
Well,
7.
And how far are you from your parents?
my parents are in Greenville, half an hour away, and I don't deal with my parents, so it would have to be my daughter, and my daughter is with her mother this weekend. I'm going to be south of Grand Rapids until 6, so no, that's not.
What if we just go next week would be May 1st? Can we just plan it'll be Thursday, May 1st? The tote will be in the possession of your parents, who will deliver it to Miss Cooper at the Thursday evening service. Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
And then Mr. Haas, since we're going out to the 1st, could the court have that judgment that both sides are going to sign on or before May 2nd?
I don't see any problem with that, Your Honor.
And then Miss Cooper, how can you be reached for Mr. Hess so that he can get you this document to sign?
We've been
He has my
communicating
email.
through email, so I would email it to her.
Okay, very good. So you will monitor your email frequently so that we can get this done by the 2nd?
Yes.
So So the only thing I think we have left then is to take some proofs, and then obviously, Mr. Cooper is a plaintiff, so I'm gonna have him sworn. Before I do that, one other thing just came up in my mind, recognizing, everything in this case. Ms. Cooper, are you gonna ask to restore your name to your maiden name?
I am not.
You wanna keep last name Cooper?
I do, yes.
Okay,
I earned it with 2 years of a terrible marriage.
well, that strikes me as odd that a whole 2 years of marriage, that you'd wanna keep that name forever.
Well, if Mr. Cooper would like.
Earned it doing what? Earned it doing what? You see what I mean? Man, these just make a clean break. Just make a clean break. Well, can I have this? Is there a way that you could? Just make a clean break. Let it go. Well, I want the last name. You want the last name because now the last name has value. This is what modern women do. This is what modern women do. They keep that last name, man. Shawnee O'Neal. Oh, well, I still need that money from Shaq. I'm going to go on Basketball Wives. Oh, well, I still need that money from Shaq. I'm going to use his name in a book that I'm going to write, a tell-all book. I love it. And I'm reading here, as far as Basketball Wives goes, she was still married to Shaq when Basketball Wives was created and when it premiered. But they were already separated. Why are you on the show if y'all not together anymore? Oh, well, so technically she is a No, get off the show. But this is what modern women do. They hold on to a man's stuff until they can build their own. I earned it. If you want to be done with him, give him back his stuff. Give him back. Well, I sold the truck already. Give him back his stuff. Well, do you want to change your last name back to your mate? Oh, I'll earn this call. Come on, Doc.
But if prenups are so simple, why are so many women against it?
Because they want as much as they can get, obviously. I mean, you're not going to go to someone and say, hey, you want half can I give you half the amount you're supposed to get? It's like going to someone who's ordering a sandwich and said, let me give you half the sandwich. Who would take that deal?
The woman is going to be hurt. Like, he really asked me for a prenup. And the man is going to be like, this bitch thinks she make more money than me. I don't really even want her no more. Because that puts him in position, once again, not to be the leader. Yeah. Not to have the trust.
I don't know a lot of women, they ain't no man that don't make as much as her or more.
Yeah, I've done it. And not from my community.
Yeah, I've done it. Definitely looked down upon. Won't recommend. 2 stars.
Damn.
Very ghetto.
Men historically have always dated down, and you'll never see us complaining. Like, so I.
Cause y'all like that.
Congratulations to y'all.
That's never been what we prioritize.
Let's talk about why I would never agree to a prenup. So, no hate to this creator at all. I actually have a lot of friends that agree with what she says. However, I want to bring a little bit of a different perspective from a law student, so soon to be a lawyer, B, a woman that is planning on making an independent living for herself, and C, a daughter of divorced parents. So let's just start with the loss aspect of things. I understand the argument where people are I don't want to get into this already, thinking about divorce, so on and so forth. But I think with anything in life, we need to be a little bit realistic, right? We need to be thinking of the pros and cons and what can go right and what can go wrong in any situation at all, right? To prepare ourselves. Also, not to mention that I think that one of the leading causes of divorces, well, this is statistic, is money, right? So my thing is, why don't we enjoy our marriage? If it's to last forever, it's going to last forever, and this will never be a problem. But if we aren't to last forever, let's just enjoy our marriage while it's there and not be stuck, because a lot of times people are stuck in marriages because they feel like they can't leave because now they're financially dependent on their spouse. And in this case, if we have the money portion out of the way, we can just enjoy each other's presence. And that's not to say, right, that you're not going to get anything out of it because you signed a prenup. There's negotiations. It's a contract. You're allowed to talk about what you think you're owed, what is to be split, what is yours, what is theirs, so on and so forth. That's the whole point of this. You're supposed to discuss this before. And again, you're avoiding the conflict. Also, to protect yourself. I always got told by my mother that you know people in 2 different ways. when you go travel with them and during a divorce. People switch up during divorces. You think that they're the best person ever. And like next thing you know, it is a bloodbath. So why not avoid that? And then everything you had amazing with each other literally gets destroyed for the sole factor that now you're arguing about money and assets. And you forgot about all the other good stuff because now you're thinking about that later and not before. I'm not against our money being our money. I think that as a couple, you're supposed to grow together. However, I do think that there are things that are mine. I think that there's things that are yours, and that's totally fine. Also, like with kids, I had divorced parents. Their divorce cost $500 because they did not fight about money. And I like have a great image of both of my parents because of that. And of course, I'm not, getting married with the intent to divorce. I'm marrying intent to be with them forever. And I don't want to divorce my father's kids. But in the off chance I do, they get to see their parents split amicably and see how loving their relationship was prior and not fighting over money. So
On the road and the potential of us getting married and having kids, how do you feel about a prenup?
Talking about divorce already feels so unnatural. I don't want to talk about that. I just don't even.
Women will try to manipulate you with shaming tactics. I think Carlos Boozer is making the right attempt to address it. Now, we can live in la la land but once I get to the point where I'm like, hey, I want to invest into a relationship, we both have a great understanding about prenups. It's there to protect both of you. It's an agreement between two parties getting married. Marriage is a business in a sense. The fact that a man brings up prenuptial agreement doesn't say that he wants to break up or he doesn't believe in a relationship. He's putting this in play to protect you and him. It doesn't mean that he takes everything. In your agreement, you could put, I want the house and you get to take the cars. I want this done with the kids, because this prevent all the squabbling it has when people do happen to have divorces.
Women understand prenuptial agreements, when they're the breadwinners or they have assets to protect. Then all of a sudden they understand a prenup and they want you to sign a prenup. They get the prenup. It's just like mandatory DNA testing. I also think there should just be mandatory prenups. And I know we spoke to a divorce attorney. People don't realize it, but there's a default prenup that everybody has when they get married. But I think prenups should just be a mandatory thing, just like DNA testing. That way you take out the feelings, because what happens when any man brings up a prenup, it comes down to, oh, you don't love me, or you think the marriage is going to fail, or
reverse psychology.
Reverse psychology is the shaming tactics, is to try to make you, it's the guilt tripping, it's the gaslighting. All of these tactics come into play the moment you mention the P word.
This might be a little controversial, but I would not have married my husband if he made me sign a prenup. And I know I'm going to have a lot of people calling me a gold digger. Trust me, I am far from that. My husband and I, we are actually in love. We've been married for almost 15 years. We have 3 beautiful children, and I also make my own money. It was actually my husband who taught me how to become my own successful, independent woman, how to get my own bag, because I believe that's what real men do. They want their woman to be the best version of themselves. And he did just that for me. But my own personal reason as to why I would never sign a prenup is because I feel like I'm ultimately jinxing my marriage at that point. Because what do you mean we are talking about, we are planning, we are anticipating, we are getting our attorneys involved about this future divorce before even walking down the aisle? That just doesn't sit right with me. At that point, I would rather just not get married. Let's just be in a relationship. For most of my life, I didn't even want to get married because, childhood trauma. So if we're going to get married, if you are going to be my husband, if I am your wife, it is for life. Okay, you are stuck with me, not only in this lifetime, but probably in many lifetimes afterwards, because I'm psycho like that. My husband didn't even bring up the idea of a prenup when we got married. And while he's not as successful as he is today, he still owned his own business and he was still doing far better than most 28-year-olds. And here I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So the fact that he didn't even bring it up to me, not once, it actually made me love him even more, because it showed me that we have the same morals and values when it comes to a marriage, when it comes to what being a husband and wife actually is. This is my own personal opinion. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that at all. I could be completely wrong and I'm okay with that. But if you are one of the women who actually did sign a prenup, I would love to know your reasons why and how you weren't offended by that.
So when I'm not putting people together, I'm a divorce attorney. And so I have to ask the question, is your friend, look at her face, her mouth is wide open. I am a marriage-loving divorce attorney. But I do have to ask, you know what the question's going to be?
No, I don't.
Is there going to be a prenup?
No.
Who's getting married?
My sister.
No prenup. Is prenup scary?
I don't know.
They're not necessary with how much money they both have.
Yeah, they're
It's
both
fine.
rich. They're fine.
Oh, and no, it's not the other way. It's like they're not so rich that it's like
they're
both staying on the
same
level playing field.
Yeah.
They're not like one has a lot and one does. Like they're both very much.
Okay, define prenup, you guys.
A prenup is something you sign that if you got a divorce, you would still have your business assets and your like net worth to yourself.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Good.
That was pretty good.
I'm kind of anti prenups. I'm so sorry.
Anti prenups?
Yes.
Okay, so you would still be anti prenups if you got married? And I have to ask this question. Oh, that's a beautiful ring.
Thank you.
And your spouse cheats on you or doesn't, and your marriage ends and you make more money and you have to pay him alimony?
I'm never probably gonna make more money than my like I get his.
Yeah, so I would like his money.
Would anyone consider a prenup, a premarital agreement?
Well, all of us are married.
Oh, you're all married? And none of you have prenups? This is a generation.
We didn't marry rich men. Also,
We all got married. I would have signed one if it weren't my husband.
Okay.
or maybe if I had a very booming business.
Yes.
Okay.
I got married later.
Yeah, to
We all got
protect my
married, like,
business.
Young 20s.
We all got
We had
married young
nothing
20s.
altogether.
Yeah, we all got married.
Same?
We all come up together.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask this question about dating, so long as I have you. First date, who pays?
Man. Guy, I'm old school.
Never settle.
Manoid.
What if you went after him for the first date? Would you pay?
I'm pro going after the person.
He decided to say yes, if anything.
But he can pay.
Who's the one getting married?
The one
All right, well, congratulations. It's very exciting. There you go. You can have the rest of our flowers.
Why do women hate prenups?
I think as a society, we're post prenup. What I mean is, it's not a debate anymore. The answer is always yes. There's a prenup regardless. If you don't sign a prenup with your wife, who's the prenup with? Does anyone know? The state. The state creates a prenup for you when you don't sign one. So all you're doing is taking this civil case that heavily affects you financially for the rest of your life. With a prenup, you are protecting both of you. And by the way, prenups protect both of you. Does that make sense? Having your wife not be incentivized to take half your shit because of a prenup helps your wife and you stay together to raise the children in a two-parent household, which every possible study shows is the best thing for children. Am I wrong? The prenup protects both of you. And so from that standpoint, I think this is like debating flat earth. Yes, everyone should get a prenup. This is beyond discussion anymore. Shout out to Travis Hunter. He's going to lose half his money, which is good because he plays two positions. He's going to need to get two paychecks in order to make up for the fact that his no good wife is going to take half his shit.
There are going to be people online that say you didn't get married because he wanted you to sign a prenup.
Correct.
So why did you not just sign the prenup?
In that moment, it was, I'd rather walk away from something knowing that I chose myself than to spend the rest of my life not being loved the way that I love somebody.
Somebody in the comments said, AKA, I couldn't get his money. Another person says, people don't realize that you already have a prenup. It's just designed by the state unless you make your own. Kind of is a good point. Somebody else says, I refuse to get married without a prenup. She leaves with what she bought. With the way women move, you can kind of see why men are doing this. With all of the nonsense and divorce rate somewhere around 50%. And then within that 50%, 70% of the time, which is a majority of the time, women are leaving. So, right, if you have 10 marriages, 5 of those 10 marriages are going to last, and then 5 are not going to last. When you look at those 5 people, right, about 3.5 of those people initiating divorce will be women, right? So once again, you've got 10 relationships. 5 will survive, 5 won't. And then you look at the 5 that didn't survive, it will be the woman 70% of the time that left. So 3.5, I'm probably a little bit off on the 3.5, but 3.5 out of 5 women will leave. So men say, oh, okay. So it's almost a certainty that a woman is going to leave. we need a prenup.
A lot of people are convincing the girlies to marry rich and just get a prenup in order to protect their alimony and make sure that they're paid if their husband ever decides to cheat on them or leave them. While I think a prenup is a very good tool, it doesn't always guarantee that you're going to get exactly what you want out of the deal. Because although you might have an alimony order or a spousal support order, it doesn't necessarily mean that the man is going to pay you that alimony. And in a lot of states, you have to enforce the spousal support yourself, especially if it's not tied to child support. And your spouse cannot necessarily go to jail for not paying their spousal support. You can go to jail for not paying child support. Some men are really stingy and will just not pay you even though they promised you the world at the beginning of the relationship. So while a prenup is a great tool and a good way to see what you're getting out of the deal if you guys were to ever separate, it does not make you safe in the thing called divorce.
Well, you're saying they might not pay you even though they promised you the world at the beginning of the relationship. Do we ever make space to say the same thing in reverse? Like, oh, I'm going to do this. You can have it all the time. I'm going to give it to you whenever you want to, and really be following through before the relationship. But then when we get in the relationship, then it's darn near non-existent.
Why would someone not want a prenup? I think there is still this stigma also that people, number one, people think it's only for the rich and famous. Like, so not. Why do we need that? Number two, it's like, basically you're saying, oh, well, we're probably going to get divorced and then this will happen. So you're already going into the marriage not 100%.
That's not what it is. The stat is something like 50% of marriages fail. So someone would be foolish not to protect what they need to protect going into a marriage. And if the other person can't respect that, that speaks volumes.
But there are a lot of emotions that come into play with it. And maybe they go for therapy to talk about why they should get a prenup. But I don't think it's just so cut and dry.
I'm not saying it's cut and dry. I'm just saying it's logical and it should be very simple.
Relationships are not always logical.
And I'm not signing a prenup. Because what do you mean when they slide you a paper saying, okay, here's everything that comes with your marriage? You're going to be like, hold up. I don't want this part. I don't want her to have access to this. That part really doesn't work for me. Let's just go ahead and leave that part out. We're not going to include that. Yeah, so now sign this. No, you can keep it. We don't have to get married because it's going to be all or nothing over here.
A woman not wanting to sign a prenup is not a problem because in most cases, a prenup won't benefit a woman if she decides to leave the marriage. So I understand why she would not want to sign it. The problem occurs when you as a man decide to marry the woman that told you she's not signing a prenup. Because more than likely, you allowed her to guilt trip you into getting married without her signing the prenup. She'll say something like, if you truly love me, you would not want me to sign a prenup. A prenup is just an insurance policy, just like car insurance. Most people don't wake up and say, I'm going to crash my car into somebody else's car today. But you have it just in case you do get into an accident. If a woman says she doesn't want to sign the prenup, cool. Now the ball is back in your court. So any consequences you may suffer if you decide to move forward without her signing it, it's 100% on you.
I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I feel like if you about to get a prenup, you shouldn't get married. I feel like a prenup contradicts the whole point of marriage. Basically, what I get from that is like, I'm not 100% sure about you, so let's just sign this just in case we get a divorce. And the point of getting married is that you're supposed to be 100% sure that even if something were to happen, you're still going to get through it. Literally what they say in the vows, for better or for worse, for richer or poor, through sickness and health, until death do us part. A prenup is a joke to vow. And I'm not talking about like the rare situations. I mean rare situations where like, say I had debt and I don't want to die and pass it on to my partner for them to deal with. But any situation where it would cause harm to not sign a prenup and I really want to protect them, but I still want to marry them. I could totally understand that. I'm talking about the people who like, oh, I built this business. I got this money. I don't know how this person's going to do me in the future. And I get it. Like, you work so hard on that business. You work so hard on earning that money and you really want to protect it. But if that's the case, I would just not get married because marriage is till death do us part.
This woman was asked to sign a prenup, but she immediately rejected it. She said, I didn't date you for your money. I fell in love. She made it clear that it wasn't wealth that attracted her, but the man's heart. Now, listen carefully to what the man had to say next. His response might surprise you.
I didn't date you for your money. I fell in love with your heart.
Well, then just sign the prenup and let this love story begin.
Love stories don't begin with prenups.
This one does.
Women don't need men for money.
Oh.
Statistics show single women own more houses than single men.
Yeah, from divorce.
Do you think the man was wrong for asking her to sign a prenup? Think about it. These days, it's not uncommon for someone to marry a successful partner, only to divorce a few months later and walk away with a huge portion of their wealth, sometimes even more than half, for something they didn't help build. A prenup isn't about mistrust or love, it's about protecting yourself and your hard work. It's a safeguard against heartbreak and financial loss, but at the same time, it can feel awkward or even offensive to the person being asked, especially if they genuinely fell in love. This man is wise. Maybe he saw what Hakimi did.
She say, this ain't about your money. This about my love for you. Okay, then sign this prenup. Make sure you go ahead and sign right there. Make sure the ink dry. Don't smudge it. We want a clear documentation. Sign this prenup.
Unpopular opinion from someone who just recently got engaged. Get the prenup. And if you want to know why, you need to listen to the #1 divorce lawyer. I'm going to put his name and all of the details in this caption. Just listen and learn and get a prenup. And no, you don't need to be a millionaire to get a prenup. That's not what this is about. This is about creating your own contract as a couple that you will abide by that has not been created by the government. Because guess what? The government changes. The marriage that you are getting into today could have a different contract by the government 10 years from now. So why not create your own? Why not create your own? No, it's not sexy. No, it is not romantic. But you know what is? Being in control of your own life. Thank you.
I think prenups are great. I think prenups are terrible. They protect both people from unfair splits. They're only for people who don't believe in love forever. You can still be in love and be practical about your money. Well, they're not very fun to talk about at dinner. It's a smart plan for a worst case scenario. It's like insurance. Besides, I don't have any assets anyway. It's not only about protecting your assets, it's also about protecting you from taking on someone else's debt. I guess they're okay for some people. Maybe. It's fair and simple. Both sides agree to the terms from the start. You set it and you forget it.
Prenups in your 20s, more people need to be doing this.
Everybody needs to be doing it if they have something, anything. And it doesn't have to be so complicated.
Protect yourself. It's like anything in life. Protect yourself. It's so easy.
Life insurance, car insurance, like we do that because we have to. A prenup is the same thing.
We've seen in the past 10 years, more and more so, prenups are being accepted and the stigma is seeming to dissipate.
Yes, that whole, you have to be rich or famous to get a prenup.
No.
Or it'll break up the marriage or break up the engagement if I ask for a prenup.
If it's going to break the engagement because you've asked for a prenup, you know that something is wrong.
Exactly.
I really don't know what's going on in Toronto, specifically Mississauga. This is another video from Toronto divorce lawyers. Are y'all okay over there in Toronto?
I want to respond to this comment that was made on a post that I made about Bronwyn from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and how she's staying with her old ass husband because she doesn't want to give up that lifestyle. And she got into my comments and a lot of other people got into the comments talking about, oh, well, they don't have a prenup. She's going to be fine. She's going to be rich if they get a divorce. And that, ladies, is a lie. Let me explain. Hi, I'm Patty Asai. I expose the lies that keep women enslaved and broke, give you the knowledge and tools to finally break free. So let's talk about asset division, okay? So asset division is dependent on the laws of the state in which you live. And in this case, they live in Utah. And in Utah, like most other states, the only marital assets that are able to be divided within a marriage are assets that are gained while you are married. So the assets that you had prior to the marriage are not included. And when young girls marry these old dudes, most of their assets they gained before they married them. So they don't have access to those assets. And also these rich dudes put all their assets in trusts. And that way nobody has access to them, even when they're married. And in fact, Bronwyn specifically says that she's not able to touch most of Todd's assets, again, because they're in a trust and because he had them before they got married. So she's shit out of luck unless he's made tons and tons of money while they've been married. And I highly doubt that is the case because he's basically retired. So when they divorce, she will probably get something, but it's not going to be a lot. And a lot of these women that married these old dudes for money end up broke because they don't understand how the laws work. And if you don't believe me, look at Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's the perfect example of someone that married a rich dude and ended up having nothing. So don't get it twisted that just because someone is married to a rich dude without a prenup, they're going to have all the money in the world once they divorce them, because that's not how the law works. And most of these women end up broke. Follow me for more unfiltered truths.
This is just my PSA to everyone who is getting married. Take it from me, and as much as you think that your marriage is forever and your relationship with them is forever, please draft a prenup and have your future husband or wife sign that prenup. Because getting divorced really fucking sucks. It's really expensive. This would have all been avoided if I had a prenup going into the marriage. So learn from my mistakes and listen to what they tell you and sign the prenup.
Let's talk about prenups and how that shit gets y'all's panties in such a bunch and get your assholes so tight. Why? Why won't y'all sign them? If you really love a person and you really think this person is the love of your life, why won't you sign it? Because when I be hearing the people that get bitchy about the prenups, women get bitchy about the prenups, and then you try to make it something that it ain't, to me, that just sounds like you in the marriage for other reasons. You want to be married to this person for other reasons. And then for y'all that's going to get in my comment section and say the bullshit, it ain't like you got anything. Exactly. I don't have anything. So why won't you sign it? Why won't you sign it? If I don't have anything, why won't you just go ahead and sign it? Because I'm a firm believer of, if you really fuck with me and you really love this person like you say you do, and if that's something they want you to do, that shit would sign it where you wouldn't even care about signing it. You'd just be like, all right, where's the pen? You wouldn't care. Not only that, but I'm a firm believer of, if we get married, I'm using hypotheticals here. If we get married and I'm worth 1 million, I'm worth 2 million. I got a million on me, or I got 2 million on me. Throughout this marriage, if that 1 million to 2 million become 500,000, you ain't getting shit when we get divorced. However, if that 1 million or 2 million become 15, 20, 25, 30 million, you getting half of whatever it is because you actually helped. But by the time we leave this marriage, if I ain't got shit, if my money done decreased, you ain't getting nothing. No, you didn't help me get nothing. But if it increases, yes, you definitely deserve something. Even if you did sign that prenup, you definitely getting some shit. Off rip. But if you ain't helped me like increase my money, no nothing, you're not getting nothing. But I really want to know, why does that shit get y'all so hype and so pissed off when a dude asks you to sign a prenup? Especially if your argument is going to be, well, it ain't like you got shit. Exactly. I don't got shit. So just sign it. Why? Because if you really fuck with them, why won't you sign it? Because then y'all, instead of answering the question, y'all just flip it and ask the man, well, if you really love me, you wouldn't have me sign it. That's a fucking lie. Because like I said, if I already have $1 million on me, yes, I want to protect my asset. If I'm already a successful business owner, I want to protect my business. You shouldn't be able to get half of my business just because we divorced. No. However, though, I do believe if you helped my business and you helped my business go from 1 million to however many millions, yes, you deserve half. Yes, you should get half. But why does that bother y'all so much? The prenup, the sound of prenup for some women, that shit really do have y'all assholes tight. It get y'all pissed off. For what though? Answer that question. Why does that shit get y'all so pissed off? Why do y'all get so mad about it? If you really love them, why get so mad about it?
Prenups were really only there for the very, very, very unusual circumstances in which one partner has a huge net worth coming into the marriage and the other one doesn't have any money. But for the average married couple, prenups are not what you do. It's basically telling them, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. But, let's get married anyway. It's just never going to work that way because marriage demands the team effort and it demands trust. And if you don't have those two things in place, don't get married. Don't get married and then sign this thing just in case, thinking that you're covering yourself, because you're not. You're essentially planning to fail. If you're setting yourself up in advance to fail, just in case, chances are you'll fail. These are self-fulfilling prophecies that are very real. Your mindset matters. Your attitude matters. So if it comes to your mind, well, maybe we should do a prenup, I would say take another look at your relationship and whether or not you should get married at all.
I did not have a prenup. I asked for one, and I was told, Ash, I have known you since we were 20 years old. I've watched you build everything. I would never, ever take that from you. And I trusted him. I lost everything that I worked for since I was 17. A lot of my friends were like, Ash, you need a prenup. I mean, I built everything that I have. I didn't come from generational wealth. I didn't come from any type of inheritance. Like, everything that I have, I did it by myself. They're like, you need to protect that. You need to protect that. Like, yeah, okay. He's a great guy. Because people are like, oh, you know, prenups, you're planning the divorce before you're even married. Okay. If you're driving and you wear a seatbelt, you are not wearing a seatbelt with an anticipation to crash. You are wearing a seatbelt in the event that you do crash. And it is the same exact thing. I'm not a woman of regrets, but that is definitely something that I do regret.
I love to see these videos of these women who become extremely successful outside of their man, where they literally build themselves up from the ground up, and then they end up marrying somebody who didn't really progress in life, man. And then they get a divorce and they take half their stuff, because it's hilarious that these women sound exactly like a man. If you took everything she said right there and put a male's face on it and just put the audio behind the face, you would think that those words were being spoken by a man. Now that women are becoming successful financially, man, and they're getting robbed in the divorce court, all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, this is not fair. How can someone do this? I built all of this. How can you take half? It doesn't feel good, does it, lady? I love to see it, though. Crazy.
My last relationship, we broke up because he asked me to marry him, but then he asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and I said absolutely not. I think that's bogus. I'm not going to sign a piece of paper that says that if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, no, I think that I should have half of everything that you've worked your entire life for. And I think that's fair.
And this is why I say find a woman while you broke. And according to the modern woman, $75K a year can't even buy groceries. Prenups only reduce the damage from women that use rich men as a retirement plan. This level 1 gold digger fell for the okie doke, because if she was a level 99 gold digger, then she would know that if her fiance didn't pay for her lawyer, she could argue she was under duress during the signing of the prenuptial agreement. That lawyer would have also informed her of something called a postnuptial agreement, that if not signed would have entitled her to any assets that he acquired during that marriage. Tyrese is a cautionary tale of having one of the most solid prenups but marrying a level 99 chameleon like Samantha Lee. Samantha Lee makes manosphere content like this and living lit, as Tyrese owes over $600,000 to that chick. So what's the riz to protect your grip after she done had your kid? Chameleons exist and they bait and switch on men to try to find love after they rich.
I just don't understand when they say, if you leave me, I get nothing. Like, are we not working either? Are we not doing something with our life either? Number one. Number two, how come are you sitting at the house just doing nothing? What are you expecting? And I understand that there are some women out there that, hey, if you're the stay-at-home mom, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to bring in the money for the both of us. I understand it. I get it. And for those situations, yeah, okay. But for situations where you're working and you're doing your thing, you already have money. You already have a job. So you wouldn't be left with nothing. Y'all would split. You would go your way and he would go his way. You don't need his money at that point in time. And even for some of these ladies, they don't be doing anything. Like a woman was talking about a few videos ago, where some of these women are marrying rich, thinking that they're going to have access to the man's assets. And maybe after a couple of years, they can just leave and get, half of his money and then get the house and stuff like that. That's a scheme. That's a scam. You're a con artist. And if you leave with nothing, that's exactly what you deserve.
The best response ever to anyone who says like, oh, no, prenups, I'm totally out on prenups, it's to stop and pause. And anyone listening here, you have a prenup. If you're married, you have a prenup. The question is, what is that? Well, your prenup is your state laws, right? Every state has different laws. And Florida's is night and day from New York's, which is night and day from California's and Tennessee's. They're all different. So the question is, do you want to take the law that's in place, it's a cookie cutter law, or do you want to say, hey, why don't we talk about this and customize it to us? Why don't we make it make sense for us? And so that's the take I have on it.
I love that framing.
Yeah.
You have one. It's your state's decision, and they are so wildly different.
All right, unpopular opinion. Prenups are not bad, and prenups do not mean that you do not trust that person. In fact, prenups actually give you more control of what happens after you guys divorce. Prenups actually help you guys have an outline of how your marriage is going to go, where the kids is going to go if y'all divorce, where the assets is going to go if y'all divorce. It gives y'all control and keeps the government out y'all business. A lot of y'all don't like how divorces go because y'all didn't have a prenup, and now the government and the judge decides for you what to do with your assets, your children, and everything else in between. So yeah, have a prenup. I'm getting one for sure.
The women who be crying about prenups and shit, 100% gonna leave your ass. I promise you. Cause prenups only apply if we break up. Bitch, if we have no interior motives of breaking up, then you sign a prenup should be nothing. It's really a safety clause for both of us. Bitch, don't cheat.
I remember when we were getting married. In my brain, I was like, I'm gonna get a prenup. And so I go up to her and I said, hey, Bella, I just want to let you know, like, just from the jump, I'm getting a prenup.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, absolutely.
I figured, because that's how the world works.
And again, dude, this is such a humiliating aspect to be in. It wasn't my Christian friends that woke me up. It was a freaking dude that doesn't even believe in God. And he just goes, what? And I go, yeah, he's a millionaire. So I thought he was going to be on my side of things. And this is what got me. He goes, I could never ask her to do that. It would feel so unsafe for her. And as soon as he said the word unsafe, in my brain, I said, wait a second. She spends her life with me. She makes me a meal. She sacrifices everything. My kids are going to depend on her. Everything that I do is for her. And then right before I make a promise to God, her father, and her, I say, hey, could you sign this piece of paper? Because all of that pile of dirt over there that I would set on fire for you, I want to make sure that if you piss me off, that I could walk away and grab all of that. And in my brain, I go, oh, I just literally told God that all this materialistic things is worth more than his daughter. And I went up to her and I said, hey, by the way, we're not doing that prenup thing. And bro, she cried. That broke me, dude. Because then I realized that, like, dude, a girl's not gonna be like, yeah, no, I totally feel unsafe and I'll definitely sign it. Thanks you so much for that.
It was never an issue for me because same thing. It's like, that's what the world tells you. That's what you're supposed to do. I cried. That touched me so much because in my heart, if something ever happens to us, it would be way too heartbroken to even think about the materialistic things. I don't care about the materialistic things. If we don't end up working out, that's a hurt for me. Like, we're over. Like, I can't think of anything past that.
If you don't want to get a prenup, then don't get a prenup. Plain and simple. Don't bring the Bible into this. Guy says, as a Christian attorney, the state already has a prenup written for you. So write it the way you want. You can even write it in a way that holds each other to higher biblical standards. The concept of a prenup is not antithetical to biblical truth. Only what you write in one may be. So it depends on what you write, what you want. Come on, guys.
Doesn't matter whose name it is under. All that matters is that we're divorced and this house which I've paid for isn't for you.
Well, you haven't paid for it, but it's not under your name, no?
Well, no, it doesn't matter whose name it is for.
Well, it does, because we were together.
Okay, well, I bought this house as a gift for my mum.
Well, why are we living in it then?
Because it doesn't matter.
Well, it does, because if you
Well,
divorce...
yeah, we're not living in it anymore, are we? Well, I am.
So how long are you going to keep that a surprise for then?
It doesn't matter. You didn't pay a single penny for the house.
I contributed my fair share to this place.
How did you?
Cooking, cleaning, one less thing for you to
Well, congratulations.
That was the
You can cook and
agreement.
clean somewhere else. Look, you divorced me, okay, yeah? You have no right to this house. I knew that this was going to come because since we first got married or whatever, that's all you're interested in. You're only interested in the financial side of stuff. And then when shit hits the fan, things start to go a bit like...
Prenup. No need to say more. If she don't sign, she don't come. Okay, he's talking about Filipina. If she don't sign a prenup, she don't come. Now, I agree to this 100%. However, it doesn't just go with Filipinas, okay? It goes with anyone. I agree to the fact that if someone have made wealth prior to, marrying somebody, that person is entitled to protect what he had made. Now, after marriage, these two couple have made whatever they made together is theirs. But again, prior to marriage, that person is entitled to protect that wealth. You just never know with, life anymore. So yes, and if the person don't agree to this, then they're not the right person for you. And don't come back to me and say, if you don't trust someone, you shouldn't marry. Trust doesn't have nothing to do with this. It is something that, someone who, again, have made money their entire life, hard work and blood and sweat, should be able to sleep at night knowing that they're protected, that is protected. So yes, I'm all for it. And if she don't or he don't sign, no.
You present to me compelling and convincing arguments why I or other men should get married.
I think the first thing that came to mind is that how serious a real man is. So if you are a real man who stands on his word, you stand on your word, you stand on what you do in life, and you say, hey, you're the one I want, and I want to live the rest of my life with you. And
why do I need a marriage for that?
If you're saying that, prove it. Show it by your actions. You have the action to put my hand in wedlock as in a commitment.
Okay, so you're the one, let's assume the man says, you're the one that I want forever. They think that you're great. You're the greatest ever. I want to only be with you for the rest of my life, and I want to commit to that. Will you commit to give him a prenup so that if you divorce him, you get nothing?
No, I don't agree with someone signing into marriage and not getting anything. When people put in work and you just leave the marriage with nothing, I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's really quite the strange argument then to say, well, wait, I expect this lifetime commitment from you in order to prove and demonstrate that you love me. Where's the demonstration of love from you?
When we got married, I was the girl that was like, I'm not signing a prenup. Because I'm marrying you till death do us part. I come from a legacy of women who stand by their men no matter what. So you don't have to worry about me. And I'm not signing a prenup because to me, contracts are real. So if you're writing if this happens, you're basically saying that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I see how now in hindsight, I am such an advocate of prenups because marriage at the end of the day is a business. Because at the end of the day, we are all individual souls. Let's stop with the literalness that something is going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. So I heard this once that even marriages where the two people are married forever, that marriage is going to look 3 to 5 different ways over time.
Hey, the whole purpose of this channel is I want to be a voice for someone that was a younger version of myself. And while I am going to talk about health and wellness and anti-aging and beauty, I want to talk about things that could actually truly, beyond health and wellness, make a difference in someone's life. And if I had to learn a hard lesson, I hope that this can help prevent someone else from going through that whole experience. And I am not here to bash or to talk negative about the past because nobody benefits from doing that. Like, it's totally toxic. It keeps you stuck and it does not keep you from moving forward in your life and thriving and being the most vivacious, beautiful version of yourself. And so that's not my purpose. But what I do want to talk about is something that happened to me. So my first marriage, I was married before. I'm happily and just so grateful to be in a very happy marriage now. But my first marriage, I was married to a narcissist, and it was a very abusive relationship. And I should have known when 2 weeks before I had 50 people headed to Mexico for my wedding, I was given a prenup. And that prenup basically waived all of my marital rights, meaning that if we got divorced, it was not going to be an equitable 50-50 split. It was literally nothing, like no marital rights whatsoever, no matter how I could support him in our marriage or having a joint bank account or any any property that we would, create together. Everything was essentially separate. And at the time, I had an attorney that told me, she said, do not sign this prenup. It is the most cruel prenup I have ever had on my desk. Do not sign it. Well, I was in my early 30s. I had just graduated from chiropractic school, and I lived in the Midwest, and that's what people in the Midwest did. They got married and they started families, and there was such pressure to get married, and you kind of felt like a loser if you were not, or that something was wrong with you. And there was just that pressure to go to the next step. Or, even in chiropractic school, I hate to say it, but we all were getting our degrees and our licenses. And there were a lot of women that were wanting to be married before they got licensed because they wanted to have their married name reflected on the degree and on their license. And so there was just this pressure during that time in my life. And so that, in combination with knowing that, 50 of my guests had spent all sorts of money to get a plane ticket to Mexico, I signed it against the advice of my attorney. And fast forward through a very difficult 5 years of being married. When we divorced, he sent me $3 via Venmo. Mind you, this person is very, very successful, and I supported a career where he would go to Australia for large stints of time and built several companies and had several rental homes that were acquired. And, I really felt in a large part very single for a large part of my marriage. And the reason why I am telling you this is because if someone does this to you, it's wrong. And there's something about protecting family assets or endeavors that are amassed or created prior to your relationship. But a true loving relationship between two people is two people being able to build a life together, a financial future together. And that's what partnership is. And if you have anybody in your life that is saying, that anything moving forward while we're married, this is mine and that is yours, run. Please run. And again, I confused what I thought was love with definitely what was not love. And I suffered a lot because I made that decision. And if I can help one person by listening to this, trust me, please run. Please run. Your future self will thank you.
I hear what you're saying, but once again, we have to go back to the statistics. Once again, you are a woman saying this. You are statistically 70 to 90% of the time more likely to initiate divorce. Once again, we go back to 5 out of 10, for simple math, 5 out of 10 marriages last. 5 out of 10. And when you look at that even deeper, when you're looking at those 5, 3 out of 5, up to, you can even say 3 out of 5 to 4 out of 5, the woman is filing. The woman is going to file for divorce. In 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. So 70 to 90%. It jumps if you're college educated. It goes to about 80 to 90% if you're college educated. So what are we even talking about? It's easy for you to talk about we're supposed to be building this, and this. But then when you decide to check out, you're leaving. Come on, man.